Good evening and welcome. I'm Diane Meyerhoff, host for tonight's discussion of the Winooski City Budget and ballot items. Tonight's show is being aired live on Channel 17 and streamed live on the Channel 17 website. We welcome your comments and questions. Please join the conversation at 862-3966. Tonight, I am joined by Kristine Lott, the mayor of Winooski, and Jessie Baker, city manager. Thank you both so much for coming out tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure. So tell me, what do we need to know? What do voters need to know for this FY21 budget?
Yeah, we are here to present our FY21 budget. It's the only thing that we will have on the ballot. Well, 2 council seats also.
Okay. Yep.
But the major item, we will have residents voting on our budget. Want to talk about what's included in there tonight and what voters can expect to see, what we have achieved this year, and what we will be looking forward to in the future.
Great, super. And we have a presentation already and queued up, yes?
Yes.
Okay, Jessie, you're going to get us started?
I think that we'll start really with our values as a community.
Yeah, so over several years, through a lot of public input, we have this value statement about the city of Winooski, and essentially we are a small and connected city with opportunities for everyone. This value statement has been used to drive the foundations of our policy and the work we do. So we have a strategic vision, actually, that is kind of a foundation for policy initiatives, planning. For the 4 kind of pillars there, economic vitality, municipal infrastructure, housing, and safe, healthy, connected people, these are value statements from our residents about where we should be investing our resources. And so our budget this year supports investing in these strategic areas.
And I have to say, this is awesome. And I was around while this was being put together, and very few cities come in with this kind of thing. And I think it's so great that you're able to actually take your budget and keep going back to these basic fundamental issues that your community came up with. So I applaud you both.
One of the things, just to add to that, is with the mayor's leadership and the council's leadership this year, we also adopted a new municipal plan that is also aligned to these strategic vision areas. So really it's how we are connecting the community vision, hundreds and hundreds of hours of community feedback that went into the development of our master plan through our commission structure and our planning commission. Huge thanks to our volunteers on all of our commissions for all the work they did developing that plan. And now this budget is really operationalizing that community vision and very significant votes the community has taken over the last several years.
And all this information is available on the website also for folks, right? Good. Just in case you want to take a look at any of it.
So as I said, we have, this budget really represents going from planning to action. So we have this strategic vision, we have this newly adopted master plan. In the past 2 years, our community has taken several significant bond votes. That's led us to this budget for this year. So what we are asking the voters for approval on town meeting day is a budget that funds our current level of services. We're going to keep doing everything we're currently doing. We're going to move forward the 4 significant projects that the community has previously voted on. That's our Main Street Revitalization project, the Myers Memorial Pool reconstruction, our water and wastewater improvements to Hickok Street, and our new downtown parking facility. Those are all previously approved bond votes, and we are not putting forward any new bond votes this year. This is just a budget to implement what we have previously decided on as a community.
So it's kind of a catch-up year.
Catching up? Catch-up year, yeah.
Okay, good, great.
Yeah, I think we spent a lot of time in the past several years building a vision, and now it's time to execute on that. Mm-hmm. We don't need to be thinking about what's the new thing that we need. We need to move forward the work we've already committed to.
But I bet you have some things in the back of your mind that you
potentially
wouldn't mind seeing in the future.
But...
Yeah, okay. Okay, great.
So, Jessie mentioned that we are retaining the same level of services. This imagery here sort of speaks to those foundations of our strategic vision that, we're focused on risk reduction in our safe, healthy, connected communities, creating safe spaces for people, investing in the infrastructure that we have built, that we have in our city, being proactive with maintenance there, and also just improving the spaces that we have in our city, our spaces to connect, multimodal transportation, affordable housing. We want to continue carrying forward all of that work.
Great. Okay. So nice photos there of everyone. Excellent.
So we did want to take a few minutes to just give the community some updates on what they've previously approved as we talk about what's before them on this town meeting day. So our Main Street Revitalization project is a very significant $23 million bond vote we took in 2018. This past year, we've really focused on finalizing engineering. We've brought in $5 million of low-interest loans, another almost $5 million of grants to the project, so really trying to bring in outside dollars to lower that cost to taxpayers. This spring, with the council and staff, we'll be prioritizing how to phase that work, both to be conscious of affordability for our community, but also think about the experience of a mile-long construction project in our city. We want to make sure the businesses are supported, that neighbors know what's coming. So that's the quick update on Main Street.
Okay, great.
So the next big one is the Myers Memorial Pool reconstruction. That project is on track. I don't know if they already did or they're about to shut down for the winter.
Okay.
They will
Work
yes.
late. Yeah, okay.
Yes. They will resume construction in the spring, depending how that goes, how the weather goes. We anticipate opening in June.
This June?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. That's impressive.
So we're on budget and on schedule with that. We are currently working on programming and anticipate having more open hours than we did with the previous iteration of the pool before it closed. And we have also received some grant money for that. Big thanks to the fundraising committee and volunteers who have supported that work as well.
Okay, great.
Hickok Street, another project that was voted on in, I think, last year. So this was to improve water and wastewater on Hickok Street. We had several water main breaks there, just needed some improvement overall. The underground work has been completed. In this next season, in the summer and into the fall, we'll finish the street level reconstruction. That's another one that's on time and on budget. And thank you to the neighborhood for dealing with that construction and being good neighbors and working with, around the. We know construction can be a bit troubling to deal with.
Yes, and now they're going to really see the difference when you do the streetscape work.
Yes.
Great.
And then our final big project that was a bond vote last town meeting day was the Abenaki parking garage, which is in our downtown TIF district, tax increment financing district. This project has seen some changes since the bond vote passed, in that we've brought on a new development partner, Netty Real Estate, and they have brought with them VEIC, the Vermont Energy Efficiency Corporation. We are in negotiations with them on the development agreement and hope to break ground on that project that will include not only 30,000 square feet of office space, bringing a lot of vibrancy to our downtown, but also a new hotel and new parking infrastructure to downtown.
And just tell us where that is.
So that is on Lot 7D.
Oh, there you go, of course.
So it's nestled between CCV and River House and River Run down right on the water.
Gotcha.
So right now it's a dirt parking lot, and it will be this new development in our downtown.
All right, great.
So I think that brings us to our budget construction.
Okay.
So I want to start with just a few minutes on the direction we received from the council and what some assumptions staff made going into our budget cycle. So this budget assumes a 2% cost of living increase for our staff. We are being conservative and estimating just under 1% of grand list growth, which brings in about $58,000 of new revenue to our city. We are, as most organizations are, experiencing quite significant health insurance increases. And we also, with last year's town meeting day vote, implemented a local options tax. So we anticipate in FY21 bringing in about $355,000 in revenue from that local option tax that are supporting our capital projects. So that's revenue that is not on the backs of the property tax bills.
Yeah.
So what we are looking at is 2.45% increase. For the average homeowner, that should equate to about $62 a year. That's based on like a $225,000 house. This includes a big portion of that is for the pool operations and getting that off the ground and off to a successful start. And I would just say that being a part of this decision-making body, am pleased to be able to present something that's a modest increase around cost of living and be able to both maintain the same level of services that we are providing, but also invest in these new infrastructure projects and these strategic areas that our community has supported and building that vision. As Jessie just shared, 2% cost of living, healthcare going up, this is pretty in line with that COLA, and we're able to actually do more than we were before.
Okay, great.
Another piece of this is our water and wastewater rates. So these rates are increasing modestly as well. The previous rates that we were charging to homeowners did not meet the needs of capital improvements to keep that infrastructure up to date, our water treatment facility, our pipes. So we have, historically, as a community, we have sort of let these stagnate for a long time and then had a big jump. We're looking at a more incremental approach now. This water rate brings us just below the regional average. Our wastewater rate is still going to be below regional average, and really sets us up to be able to maintain this infrastructure that we have invested in to support water quality for our community as well as growth.
And tell me, do you all have to have a stormwater piece to that too? No, you don't. Okay.
That's solely in our wastewater rate.
Okay, gotcha.
And so we don't have the actual figure on here, but I believe, do we? It's about $30 a day, or sorry, a year.
Let's make sure we correct that.
We estimate it's about a $30 annual increase for the average homeowner as well. So, you know, the bigger scope there with the property tax, modest increase there, and here is under $100 per homeowner.
Okay, good.
So we often get the question of, well, in aggregate, where does that where do those dollars go? What are we buying for those dollars? So here are a few quick slides also available on our website that talk about that. So our general fund budget, our budget that's raised by property tax dollars, is about $7.5 million. And you see here where that primarily that revenue comes from property taxes and pilot payments, and then how it's spread.
Pilot payments are too for folks.
Thank you. Pilot payments are payment in lieu of taxes. So nonprofits, state agencies, state buildings in our community, other kind of public partners that don't pay a property tax bill but have a different kind of relationship with the city. Winooski Housing Authority, for example. We also wanted to show how those dollars are then divvied up across city services. So in the general fund, 34% of that is for public safety. It's important to remember for public safety that we staff 24/7. So it's a higher budget because we're not just staffing during the workday, we're actually staffing all the time. We always have 2 police officers on duty to respond to public needs. Then across all of our funds, so the mayor was just talking about our water and wastewater rates, our total operating budget is actually about $15 million in the city, and that includes water, wastewater, general fund, parking fund, our tax increment financing district. And you can see here how all of those revenues are divided up across service areas as well. So public works and capital projects now become our biggest expenditure looking across funds.
Okay.
And I just want to say, like, we look at this as a council as sort of another value statement and aligning to that strategic vision where you can see infrastructure is a big investment here, safe, healthy, connected communities. It all sort of aligns to that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The history. I was
Yes.
going to ask about this. I thought maybe they have a slide on this. Okay.
Yeah, so we have a couple years of history here on tax rate increases. I think for several years there, the folks who were sitting at the decision-making table on the council, working with staff, kept really modest increases, anticipating having to do some bigger asks. Last year, those big asks came with the pool and Main Street revitalization, and we had a more significant increase there. We actually, during those discussions, were anticipating a somewhat significant increase this year, and so it is really a pleasure to be able to bring us back to a more modest number. And I think a lot of that has to do with the residents' support of a local options tax to help us diversify our revenue.
Is that a penny?
Yeah, it's 1 cent.
Yeah, 1 cent on the sales tax. Okay.
Which
Just so
is
people-
in line with all of our neighboring communities as
Just
well.
so people may not know what a local option tax is, so I just want
Yeah.
to make sure people know. And the other interesting thing about this chart that actually threw me because I see FY20 5.68%, and I thought, well, wait a minute, but it's not 5.8%, 6% this year. So actually, we should just make note that FY21, which is the budget you're working on now, is only at 2.45,
That's
which is a
right.
significant difference from at least from last last year anyway. So
Until the
should just say
voters
that.
approve it, we do
Okay.
not put it in our
Or you could
history
put
slide.
estimated or something, maybe. Just so everybody knows, because people might look at it and go, wait a minute, FY20, you know, so.
Yes.
just so we know what-
2.45%.
2.45% is what we are asking
Okay, good,
voters to
good.
approve this year.
All right, great.
And just to sort of like circle back that big community decisions equal big outcomes. These are big projects that have been committed to over the last couple years to get us to that vision of what we want to be as a city. We need, you know, we are investing in that vision and in those projects while maintaining our level of service for roughly a cost of living increase. I can't restate that enough, that I think that's a very impressive thing that we are able to move forward that vision and keep doing what we've been doing, what people expect of us.
Great, okay. Big community decisions, big outcomes. Okay, good.
So the last thing that's not really a budget thing that we wanted to really highlight tonight is something our entire country is going to go through in the next couple of months, which is Census 2020. So as viewers probably know, and as certainly both of you know, the census is a huge thing that our federal government undertakes every 10 years. It will be a huge change for our city, we think. We think we've seen some population growth and really want that reflected in the census counts. So April 1st, 2020 is Census Day. All of our residents in Winooski can expect to get pieces of mail in their mailbox, information from the city, information from community partners. We really encourage all of our residents to complete the census, whether that's by phone, in paper, online. This is how we make sure Winooski counts. This is our data collected through the census will define how much federal support we get in future years. We are huge beneficiaries already from federal dollars and state dollars in a lot of these capital projects, and we want to ensure that continues to, again, keep our community affordable, ensure we can maintain those lower tax rates. So when you get your census form, fill it out. If you have any questions, call us at City Hall. We'd be happy to walk you through it. Call other community partners who will be out talking about the census. It's a really big deal for our community.
And tell us also about folks who perhaps English isn't their first language. How do they go about getting a form in a format they can use?
So my understanding is the census will be distributed in 26 languages. So it will be available through community partners in a number in hopefully all of our local written languages. Of course, there's the Census 2020 website. We'll have links off of our website. People should really feel encouraged to go to their community partners, you know, the community leaders that they trust, whether that's mayor and city council, myself, their pastors, their other nonprofit partners. Many people are going to be talking about this. So if you have questions in the community, seek out, you know, a trusted partner, and they'll help you fill out that census.
Okay. So it sounds like the city hall or the city website might be a good place to also start. I assume you'll have all those names on there, folks that people can. Good, excellent.
And I want to add something I think that's sort of been lost in the news cycle is that the citizenship question was actually removed. Well, it was not there to begin with, but it will not be there. So for folks who are worried about that, that's the court overruled that.
Okay, good. Good. And have you actually seen these forms yet? Are they out? Are they in draft form or anything?
The federal government website has some samples out there,
yeah.
but I haven't seen the kind of final form yet.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of exciting, right? Because it happens so rarely.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I really don't remember much about the last time I did it, other than they used to sample, and they may do this differently now, but they used to sample, you'd get a short form or a long form, and every 10 houses would get a long form, whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know if now that a lot of it, at least what I've heard, a lot of it will be online, or people will respond online, which we didn't last time. I wonder if there'll be more detailed information from more people, because you can do that now, right? But before you couldn't choose. I don't know if that's the same. You sort of get told what to do.
Yes.
You get a number or something, and then you go on. Okay. So you can't just jump on and fill it out, right? You have to wait till you get something in the mail.
Yes.
I assume, right?
Yep.
Okay. Good. Just so you know, we a little census 101. I'm sure we'll hear
there's
much more about
also
this.
door-to-door folks who go
Yes.
follow up when people haven't replied. So
Yeah.
I think that's good to be aware of if you're not familiar with the census and
Sure.
some random person shows up at your door.
And they're already out there. In my neighborhood, they're already out. They're out looking for people to work for the census because
Yes.
apparently
Yeah.
that's a big issue, and apparently they pay quite well. Just throw that out there. And then there's also a bunch of folks just getting ready, postcards and things just to get it, and they're going door to door to do that. So there are definitely people wandering around the neighborhood that you may not recognize. So good to know that they're out there. Do you want to make any predictions about the increase in the Winooski population? No, I can't do that. Okay, all right. I'm just curious. I mean, it just seems like from 10 years ago, it's a whole different community.
That's very.
I mean, the values are the same. I don't mean that, but just the amount of development.
The demographics have certainly
Right? And the
been
demographics
changing,
have
yeah.
changed in 10 years. So it'll be really interesting. And I know it takes a couple of years to actually get that data out. So it'll be a little while, but it's pretty exciting. So thanks for sharing that with us. Great. So now what else do you guys have for us?
Voting details.
Oh,
Details.
please.
Most
Okay.
important.
Good.
So Tuesday, March 3rd is town meeting day. You can vote 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the Senior Center on Barlow Street.
Okay.
We have early voting happening already.
So federal ballots are in if folks
Okay.
are interested in coming to get their federal
I
ballots.
should say it is Super Tuesday.
It
When you
is
say
Super
federal
Tuesday.
ballots. That's what we're talking about, mostly about, right? Okay.
And then local ballots will be available at the end of next week. Certainly, if you come in and request an absentee ballot now, we will be sure to get you both as they're available.
And we should say, since not everyone's watching this live, the end of next week would be about
February 5th or 6th.
Okay,
Yep.
good. Just in case you're out there and you want to grab a ballot. And you can vote, we say at City Hall, or you also do what we used to call absentee, which is mail-in, I guess now, right?
Yep.
As well. And they should just contact City Hall for
Yes.
that, right? Okay, clerk's office, okay. And I should also say, to tag on to that, we here at Channel 17 do our live results show. As soon as things are tabulated, we get information out. We are the first, actually, to get most of the local information out there. So viewers should definitely tune in on town meeting day, too, for our results show. Okay, so did we get through the entire budget that quickly?
Yeah,
That is really impressive.
a couple more points.
Please, please.
Just want to share that in the state of Vermont, you can register the same day as voting, but you can
Yes.
also register early, which is better. You can do that at City Hall. And we have a couple of other opportunities for, we're going to be presenting this information.
right.
We will be at the high school, the Winooski High School, in the Performing Arts Center on March 2nd, in a joint meeting with the school, presenting both of our budgets, 6 p.m. We will also have a community dinner at the O'Brien Community Center. This is a free dinner, I think, catered by Jin Chinese,
Yes.
I heard.
Yep.
What time is that one?
So that starts at 5:30 for dinner. We'll do our presentation starting around 6, again in partnership with the school district, and that's on February 19th. So February 19th at the O'Brien Community Center. Come out for great local Chinese food, as well to hear from the mayor and school trustees and myself about all the items that will be on the ballot this year.
Okay.
And there'll
Primarily
be-
budgets.
Yes.
No bond votes.
No bond votes. If you get nothing else out of this program today, no bond
No
votes.
bond votes.
Okay.
And there also, there's opportunity to ask questions too,
Yes.
right? Those are
Sure.
in-person events, so.
Sure. And you can ask questions and comments, but this is set, right? I mean, this is what you're going to have on the ballot.
Yes.
Because the ballots are being printed as we speak, or really close to it, just so
Yes.
folks know that this is what's going forward.
And I
right?
do think on that note, it's important to note that both on the city and school side, this is a budget that has been developed over months. So the staff start working on the budget in September. We present the initial proposal to the council in early December. And for the last 2 months, the
Yeah.
council's had 7 different council meetings to really dive into the budget, make changes, make adjustments, and then they ultimately approve the budget that's sent to the voters. So this presentation, these numbers, the budget that the community will vote on has been well vetted by the city council, and really they have put their stamp of approval on it that this is the budget that's aligned to the community values and past community votes.
And do generally members of the public show up to these council meetings? I know you really go through, as you said, in incredible detail. Do people come out to the meetings?
We haven't had big turnout. There's been occasional emails though. Like I hear from folks outside of meetings as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
I also think that you might have less in-person turnout when what you're putting forth is not, a big change as we've
Right,
seen in the past.
right.
This is a pretty, level services, the pool, everyone kind of anticipated that. So I
Yes.
don't think there's anything super controversial happening in this budget.
Yeah. Great. Well, and probably having a non-super controversial ballot is a good thing, right? Or budget, anyhow.
We could take it easy this year.
Okay, because next year could be a whole nother story.
I won't make any predictions either.
Okay, no predictions on that. Since we have a couple of minutes, and I think we've pretty well covered the budget, I haven't heard any questions, 862-3966, so you get last chance, 5 minutes. Can you tell us a little bit about what other issues, city council seats that are up and such that people should know about as well?
Sure,
yeah. We'll have debates and all that, but just to give us a preview.
Yeah, so we have 2 seats up for city council. Councilor / Deputy Mayor Hal Colston is up for another 2 years, and then Councilor Mike Myers is up for 2 years on his seat as well.
Okay.
They are both running again.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone else is running.
Now, do we have to know by 31st?
31st.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll know because that's when people have to have their
The petitions and
in.
signatures in.
Okay, so that's
right.
soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're watching live, you
Right.
still have time.
Right,
If you're
that's right.
watching later on into February, the ballot is set.
Okay, the ballot is set. All right, and we will certainly have those folks on, incumbents that are running, as well as any opponents for our debates soon. So that's something for folks to keep an eye on as well. Okay, let's just do a quick tell people what they need to know about what they're voting on. Let's just talk a little bit about, just like 2 sentences about the budget.
You are voting this year on the FY21 budget. We are proposing a 2.45% increase for the average homeowner of a home assessed around $225,000, which, keep in mind, your assessment is probably lower than your actual home value.
And the reason is? Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking about, that we have that you don't always pay the full amount.
Oh,
because of
right.
The income issue.
Right.
So that's a school side thing. That's true on the school side. You do
Which
pay
we're going to talk about later.
Yep, you do pay your full amount on the municipal side.
Okay, thank you.
But yes, so about $62 a year increase for the average Winooski homeowner. This is what you're voting on March 3rd, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the Senior Center in Winooski, and 2 city council seats up for re-election.
Okay, good. And we should also just mention the water, wastewater rates, just so folks know that as well.
Sure. The water and wastewater rates will be increasing 2% for water, 4% for wastewater. This should result in a roughly $30 annual increase for the average homeowner.
And is that actually incorporated within this?
This is built into
vote?
the budget, yeah.
Okay,
So this
okay.
budget relies on increasing those rates so that we can support the infrastructure needs there.
Okay. And are there times when you actually separate them out, or are they always together like that?
So the public doesn't actually vote on the water and wastewater rates. The council holds that authority under our city charter.
Gotcha.
But the entire budget, the reason why the mayor says it's baked into the entire budget is that there are decision points that are linked within those funds. So the public votes on the general fund, the amount to be raised by property taxes. The council votes on the budget as a whole across all the funds.
Gotcha. Okay. So in general, folks are looking at less than $100 increase in their overall municipal tax, right?
Yes, that's right.
If you're an average homeowner and all that sort of stuff. Okay.
And just and for that increase, we're
Yeah.
maintaining our current level of services, even though costs are increasing beyond that.
Yeah.
And we're operating the Myers Memorial Pool for the first time in a number of years. And as the mayor said earlier in the presentation, one of the values that we've had as a staff and council as we've prepared for the launch of that new municipal resource is to really maximize its use. This is going to be a beautiful, brand new pool. We want to make sure that it's available for families the hours they want it to be available. So we are extending the hours of operation. So for that 2.45% tax rate increase, you're maintaining your current level of services and you're operating a brand new facility at the pool.
And beginning
Well
June.
said. Yeah,
Bring it in June.
In June, yeah.
this summer.
And plus, you've got your Main Street revitalization, right? Your Hickok Street water, wastewater. Am I close?
Yes.
Okay, and then and your new parking garage.
Right.
With commercial and housing, or just commercial?
Hotel and office space.
Hotel and office space. Okay, so you're getting all of that. That seems like a pretty darn good deal. So I'm that's fantastic. We're just about going to wrap it up. So I want to thank you both so much for coming out. It was fun. I learned a lot, and I'm glad you're getting a little bit of a catch-up year. I definitely feel a relaxation here that I don't always feel when we do these. So that's fantastic. And we should just remind everyone again to vote on Tuesday, March 3rd. March 3rd, 7 a.m. to 7 7 p.m., or, of course, early voting, and the ballots will be available very soon. So we hope folks will take advantage of that. You also can get mailed in ballots, and you should check your registration, although we do have same day. You can also check online at the Secretary of State's office as well. Everybody has an account, whether you know it or not. Did you know that?
did not.
Everyone has an account, yeah. It's
Excellent.
I know, interesting piece of information. So again, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you also for being with us as well.
Thank you,
Diane.
Good night.